Good morning. Welcome to AM Prime on the Content Capital WESN. I'm Leah Ann Jones, and it's Wednesday, April 27th. I'm holding on for Andy for the rest of this week while he's on vacation. It's Wednesday. It's literally the middle of the work week or the school week. So if you've been eagerly anticipating the weekend, fear not. We have just 2 more days after today. We'll be there soon. So happy hump day. So that crazy weather we experienced on Monday continued somewhat yesterday, and from reports coming out of the Met Office, it's expected to continue until the end of the week, into Friday. We've got the scoop on what's really been going on with the weather this week, and that's coming up in the show this morning. We'll be speaking to Mr. Jonathan Mora, meteorological observer, and he's going to be telling us what's causing the changing weather conditions. Also coming up in the show today is a conversation with local author Gladstone Coffey, and he's written a book called What Shall Become of Your Dreams. It's a motivational book written by author Gladstone Coffey. We'll also take a look at the country's latest COVID statistics, followed by the Newsday poll, and we'll take a look at the headlines in the Newsday newspapers. After the news, we'll speak with Mr. Balindra Maraj of the Sills Farmers Support Group. All this and more coming up in the program today. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get the details on what's been going on with the weather for the week so far. We'll be back.
I bought my last pair in November of 2021 and I loved everything about these glasses. I heard about Ferrera Optical Virtual Care when I posted to social media about the dogs mangling my glasses. As someone who works from home, I thought, why not give it a try? And I did. Virtual care is the opportunity for me to have a video consultation with either an optometrist or an optician for my eyewear or my eye care. I'm looking forward to most following my virtual care visit the opportunity to choose my glasses, to have someone to personally curate the spectacles that I want. That's very exciting to me.
We have been apart for a long time. Now let's get together once again. Let's welcome you back. Family. North Coast Jazz 2022, May 27th to 29th. Born here, played here.
What's the best way to grab the attention of viewers?
Please exercise more patience. You have to be kidding me.
Doing what we do best.
I'll say at the very least it's a conspiracy of laziness against the people.
Join me, Keaton Shaw.
And me, Sean Michael Small, for Talking Point.
Weekdays from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
We go in-depth on the trending issues and engage the most controversial newsmakers
as we get them to account to the people for their actions.
You can't go to the government with nothing. You can't go to cabinet with an empty hand, with a wish.
I'm glad that we're having this a sober, mature discussion.
In the present situation, I expect a continuation of the chaos.
Join us for the discussion, Mondays to Fridays,
only on WESN,
the Content Capital.
It may seem like the hardest thing to do right now, but we all need each other to wear a mask, wash our hands, watch our physical distance, and stay at home. We need you safe. Together we can make the difference. Together we can curb the spread of COVID-19. So let's be responsible in our actions. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross Society. Mission-based, people-focused, community-driven.
Welcome back. Now, Monday's weather shift seemed to catch us or catch all of us a bit off guard. But by the end of the day on Monday, we were being told to expect more adverse weather conditions throughout the week. So here with us to shed some light on what's going on with the weather, the changing weather conditions, especially at this point in the dry season, is Mr. Jonathan Mora, meteorological observer. Welcome, Mr. Mora. Good morning.
Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning to all our viewers on WESN.
Thanks for being here with us. Tell us, what was the cause of Monday's weather? It seemed to come out of the blue on Monday.
All right. So, well, for many, it may have came out of the blue, but not for me exactly. I've been monitoring that system since Friday. It is a trough. It is a normal rain-producing feature, typically in the rainy season. However, it is not uncommon within the dry season, especially in months such as April, where we do have what we typically call April showers. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for farmers and other agricultural persons, what happened is that we had an enhancement at the upper levels. I don't want to get too technical, but we had a system at the upper levels of the atmosphere over the North Atlantic low pressure system. And that system basically provided enhancement at the upper levels of the atmosphere. And what we found happening on Monday afternoon, after we had much daytime heating, we got that moisture coming up from South America from the trough system, and that initiated those afternoon showers and thunderstorms.
Okay. Well, that was a lot of technical information there. But
yes.
So we are understanding that it was coming. It was coming to us. It's just that maybe the man in the street would not have noticed.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Well, as I should say as well, we were monitoring that system. We did not expect it to be that significant,
right.
Given that on Monday, the upper level atmosphere was not favorable for heavy showers and thunderstorms. We were looking forward to some rainfall activity, but not to that extent. However, the weather changes every second, every minute, every hour, so you always have to be on guard according to that. But definitely that system came from South America. We had that activity coming across, and then and there, what we had happening as well, the early part of the morning, we had those that sunny weather conditions, that heat of the day basically causes evaporation. So with that moisture coming and with that heat, we got that evaporation occurring, and that aided in the development of those clouds, those showers, and those thunderstorms as well.
Well, we are still in the dry season, with just about a month or so to go before the start of the rainy season officially. And the tropical waves, as you said, are usually a signal typical to the rainy season. Is it too early for this kind of weather, in your opinion?
Well, based upon what we saw in the archives, in 1981, actually, Trinidad and Tobago had a major disaster at the ending of April. Another weather system other than tropical waves is the ITCZ, that is the Intertropical Convergence Zone. It is an area where winds converge, the trade winds converge in the Atlantic Ocean, and where we have winds converging within the Atlantic Ocean, we can have warm air rising, and with warm air rising, we have evaporation, and with evaporation, we have clouds developing, and where cloudiness can form, we can have showers and thunderstorms. So the ITCZ as well signals the start of the official start, I should say, of the rainy season. So it's either a tropical wave or the ITCZ. And in 1981, we actually had the first effects of the ITCZ on April the 23rd. I think it was a Thursday. And Trinidad and Tobago actually recorded the most amount of rainfall within 38 years. I would have believed that would have been the time frame. So to say this is uncommon, yes, it is uncommon, but it has happened in the past.
Okay, and what does that mean for us this week? Because we are at the 27th of April, so it's almost in the same time, at the same time, just years later.
Yes. Well, the difference with this system is that it is not actually a rainy season feature in the sense of the tropical waves and the ITCZ. So right now, this system will not have triggered the start of the rainy season. We are still officially in the dry season, and the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service definitely are the ones responsible for making that declaration.
Right, yes.
What I can definitely tell you is that the Barbados Meteorological Service is currently monitoring a system in the Central Atlantic right now, and they are definitely designating that feature as a tropical wave, and they are saying that is the first tropical wave of this season. However, the National Hurricane Center in Miami, along with our local meteorological service, they have not provided any information on that system just yet. But for me, in speaking with certain meteorologists in Florida and as well as the Barbados Meteorological Service, they are stating that they are seeing that this system has features of a tropical wave. A tropical wave is actually a type of trough. All right. So this weather system that has been affecting us for the past several days has been a trough. A tropical wave is a type of trough. The difference is this type of trough develops off of West Africa, and this is the mainstay, one of the mainstay other than the ITCC for bringing us our rainfall within the wet season. So until our local Met Service, that is the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service, until they issue an official statement stating that they believe that this too is a tropical wave, we are still in the dry season. And this system is expected to move over the islands on Friday. So regardless if it is a tropical wave or trough or whatever meteorologist wants to designate it as right now, we are still expecting rainfall activity on Friday. Today, we are still under an adverse weather alert from the Met Service, and that will end at 6 p.m. Weather conditions this morning are still expected to be generally on the fair side, but as we get into the afternoon, that is after lunch, we get into the afternoon period, we expect that there's a possibility of some showers and thunderstorms, which can lead to street and flash flooding.
Okay, so more flooding possibly today.
It is, yes, there is definitely a possibility, and even into tomorrow, there is also a possibility of that street and flash flooding as moisture remains significant in the atmosphere. Heading into Friday, we still have that potential as we have that designated tropical wave from the Barbados Met Service to pass over the islands. We look at brighter weather Saturday and Sunday.
All right, but from what I'm reading in the weather reports, the Sahara dust is expected to take precedence on Friday, and that is what is going to aid with the tropical, the trough, receding a little bit on Friday.
Yes, correct. So when we have Saharan dust in the air, what we get is that we get a drying out of the air, and this is not what systems generally want. Troughs, tropical waves, tropical depressions, storms or hurricanes, they want moisture, they want moisture, that's how they feed themselves, and they want moisture. So when we have this dust coming from the Saharan desert, and this is typical for this time of the year, we can get definitely that drying of the atmosphere, and that is definitely not what we want if we want rainfall activity to occur. So that is to say that, yes, definitely right now, actually, that tropical wave is in the Central Atlantic, as I said, and that tropical wave is actually fighting that dry air from the Saharan area. So we do not expect it to be very strong. And I think right now that Saharan dust is even approaching the island. So even right now, that is also something that is keeping and I should say limiting the significant weather activity at this time.
Okay, well, that makes sense. So what you're saying is that we're coming out from flooding and heavy rainfall and flooding into increased levels of Sahara dust. That's not a great outlook. That's not a great outlook at all. Not something we're looking forward to at all for the week. But tell me, in your opinion, aside from that, how bad can we expect it to get? How bad can it get? What is the worst case scenario here?
Dust?
Sorry?
As it pertains to the Saharan dust?
No, sorry. As it pertains to the rainfall, the heavy winds, the thunderstorms, flooding in particular.
I'm not really expecting anything very significant. In Trinidad and Tobago, generally, it's prone that we get street and flash flooding. I'm not seeing a very high chance for flash flooding per se, or riverine flooding, that is rivers overflowing their banks. What I am seeing is that there's a possibility for that street flooding as opposed to flash flooding. Flash flooding is flooding with more very strong torrents, so from rivers and stuff like that. Flash flooding can have debris and all of that stuff in it, but street flooding, improper drainage, flooding from improper drainage and stuff like that in urban areas, and that is possibly the most we could possibly get. I'm not seeing that potential for flash or Caroni River flowing their banks, such as riverine flooding. Not seeing that happening right now. But definitely we can look out for some street flooding in the event of heavy showers and thunderstorms, and that happens more in those urbanized areas where there's poor drainage, or clogged drainage as well.
Okay, so basically, what can we do to prepare for the rest of the week? Could we just, if possible, just stay indoors? Try to stay off the streets? Because for the persons who are traveling, especially utilizing public transport, and even just being on the highways and that kind of stuff, because we saw some very high waters in various parts of Port of Spain yesterday, especially. Some cars were reported to be shifting and that kind of stuff under the water level. So what can we do to prepare, if anything?
And definitely for Port of Spain, there's something called the West Coast Convergence, and that is where the air from the sea, that is the sea breeze, that is where it converges with the air on land. And given that there's a possibility for this daytime heating this morning, I definitely think that after lunch, heading into the afternoon period, we can get those heavy showers and thunderstorms occurring over Port of Spain. Today, I believe for the remainder of this week, until things improve over the weekend. So persons residing in those areas, and as I was saying, street flooding, as opposed to flash flooding, street flooding, which can occur in urbanized areas where there's poor drainage or clogged drainage, but places like Port of Spain and those areas, definitely persons should be aware of that. And remember, definitely do not venture into floodwaters. If you from the time you think about hearing a thunderstorm occurring over Port of Spain or heavy showers, be on guard and be prepared for that. If it is that you need to leave early, if it is that you need to move your vehicle to higher ground, ensure that you do that. Do not venture into floodwaters.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. We also experienced an earthquake yesterday. Can you confirm that is in relation to all of this weather activity we've been experiencing this week?
Okay, so definitely there is no connection between the weather and seismology. Meteorology and seismology is actually two different science. So yes, we would have heard in the past that a lot of hot, sunny weather can lead to earthquakes, but that is not. There's no confirmation on that. There's no study on that. That is not something that we can say off the bat, right? So definitely that 4.5, I believe, magnitude earthquake that occurred. I think it was around 77 kilometers to the west of San Fernando. It occurred to the west of San Fernando, but definitely no correlation whatsoever to this weather activity.
Okay, so you won't be able to say if we can expect any more activity this week?
As it pertains to earthquakes, no. They cannot be predicted at this time. Definitely you can say that over a long period of time, based upon historical data, that it is possible that this area could receive a 5 to 6.4 magnitude earthquake, but it is not in a correlation where we can forecast weather, and I can tell you what the weather is going to be like this afternoon and tomorrow. I definitely cannot tell you there's going to be an earthquake.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. I know you said that this kind of weather activity, change and shift in weather activity took place years ago in 1981, but would you attribute any of what we're experiencing right now to climate change?
I do not see this as being climate change. I will think about it more as a climate variability. because a change occurs over a long period of time. And in April, we usually see April showers. We usually get troughs coming by. It may not happen every year, but I definitely do not see this as a change. But heavy showers and thunderstorms, because April showers is something very usual for Trinidad and Tobago, where we have these troughs coming, and definitely going into May, which is a transitional month. We tend to see those troughs beginning to develop as the ITCZ comes northward near to our area. We get those troughs coming, and this is nothing unusual. We can get heavy showers and thunderstorms within the dry season. It is not uncommon. I remember 2 years ago where we had thunderstorms in March. So this is not uncommon for the dry season, especially coming to April and May. We can see some transition from dry to wet. So definitely, I won't say this is a change. I would say it's probably a variability in our climate.
Okay, all right. And so is the weather this week an indication of what is to come in May in terms of maybe more than usual levels of rainfall?
Well, what I can tell you is that the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service says that we expect below average rainfall for May. Now, that does not mean that we will not have days of heavy rainfall that could lead to street and flash flooding events. But that is to say that the long-term average, so I can give an example. If for the month of May, we usually get 100 millimeters of rainfall, we may be expecting 80. All right. So on the long-term average, after, let's just say for a 50-year period, we usually on average get 100 millimeters of rainfall. Then this year we are probably expecting 80 millimeters, which is below the long-term average. So when the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service says below average rainfall, that is what we can expect definitely. All right. But this weather event that we have been experiencing, what I can say based upon some analysis that I was looking at this morning is that the sea surface temperatures are actually warmer than normal. And that is a cause for concern for the hurricane season, because tropical storms and tropical hurricanes and tropical storms, which are tropical cyclones, they actually feed from warm water, because anything that we want to move up in the atmosphere is warm air, and warm air can cause clouds to rise and showers and thunderstorms can develop. So what we really want is that warmth. And right now, the Atlantic has very light winds, and anytime you have light wind and there's no wind, the place can become hotter, right? So definitely right now, that is a cause for concern, and we can look forward to a very active hurricane season 2022.
Okay. Oh, okay. You mentioned the seas, activity at sea just now. How is this weather affecting, or how can it affect fishermen this week?
Well, when we have strong winds out there, especially in the open, we do have those wind waves coming across, and with those wind waves, we can get seas deteriorating. Definitely, fisher folk marine interests are advised to exercise extreme caution, especially near heavy showers and thunderstorms out at sea. This can definitely affect their progress out at sea. Of course, definitely their life as well. So they need to be very cautious and vigilant and monitor sea conditions. Out there, they actually will have some data. They do have instruments as well out there that can assist them with that as well. But of course, in heavy showers and thunderstorms, definitely they should be on the lookout, especially those residing along the north and eastern coastlines of Trinidad.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mora. That's all the time we have for the interview this morning. Thanks again for your detailed explanation of what's been going on. I am certainly a lot clearer, and I maybe not so happy, but at least I know what to look forward to for the rest of the week, and we are expecting a sunnier weekend, hopefully.
That is correct. So as we head into this weekend, you're free to go to the beaches, and I believe that the winds would still be very light, so we will not have any rough seas. The only thing we need to worry about is that Saharan dust.
Yes, of course. I'm not looking forward to it. But thank you again for your time this morning. We're going to take a break.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, great. Thanks again. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to look at the latest COVID statistics in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as take a look at the Newsday newspaper poll. We'll be back.
Gift giving during a lockdown can still be hassle-free with a gift from FanZone with delivery options available nationwide. Visit and browse our Facebook and Instagram pages for all your official licensed merchandise and apparel and have it delivered to your door. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. FanZone, we've got you covered.
Change your fate! Start to win at life with $20,000 every month. Win $20,000 every month for 20 years with NLCB's newest game, Win for Life. 6 numbers from 28 plus the cash ball could make you win for life. You deserve a win. Play Win for Life today. Visit NLCBGames.com for details. Players must be 18 years and over. Please play responsibly.
Let your voice be heard. Call Madam Fix-It on WESN, the only place that effectively helps you with your woes. Having problems getting onto government agencies, water woes, NIS and pension problems, potholes, and much, much more. Call me, Madam Fix-It, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on WESN. Let me fix it for you.
The best for your baby is at thebesttoys.com. From the best strollers, car seats, baby carriers, high chairs, booster seats, rockers, jumpers and bouncers, walkers, baby blankets, feeding accessories, bathtubs. Visit us in-store at Forces Flagship McLean. Shop online now at thebesttoys.com. Order via call or WhatsApp at 332-BABY. And remember, we have the best toys at the best prices.
A 3-day event. Big Screen Friday, Jazz Family Saturday, Sunday Blues. Family. A tribute to Lord Nelson. North Coast Jazz, May 27th to 29th. Born here, played here.
If you live with someone who's tested positive for COVID-19 and has to self-isolate at home, take care of them from a distance and reduce their movement around the house. Give them space, a designated space, and open those windows. If you have to be in contact, mask up, both of you. If you work, stay home from work and don't go out. Not even to the grocery or pharmacy. And remember, no visitors allowed. Limit the contact to limit the spread.
The Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross Society. Mission-based, people-focused, community-driven.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at the country's latest COVID statistics from the Ministry of Health for as of April 26, 2022. Total recovered patients are at 134,384. Total positive cases from between March 12th to present 145,597 persons. Total positive cases are 7,396, and new positive cases 576 reported in the last 24 hours. The number of deaths are 3,817, and the total number of patients in hospital is 165. We're going to take a look now at the Newsday poll. And the question today, what are your views on major Point Fortin Borough Day events and activities, including Juve, being cancelled due to COVID-19? And we have some of your answers here to share with you. I agree 100%. The weekly numbers are increasing. People's lives are more important than wine and jam. And our next response, Pod up the Juve. Somebody's calling for pods in the Juve, much like the carnival pods that we experienced a couple months ago. Number 3, the numbers are rising again and have not gone below 6,000 in weeks. We need to really take note of that. Answer number 4, agreed, but we all have to live with these viruses, vaccine or not. Keep immune systems up as much as possible. It's hard. And the last response on our social media platforms, these events shouldn't even be entertained in the first place in these COVID times we're living in. All right, that's an opinion there. All righty. We are going to have up next a local author, Mr. Gladstone Coffey, and he has written a motivational book entitled What Shall Become of Your Dreams. Here with us this morning is Mr. Gladstone Coffey. Welcome.
Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Jones. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, tell us in summary a little bit about your book. What is it about?
Well, as the title suggests, what shall become of your dreams? And the subtitle is the harder you get knocked down, the higher you bounce back. The parable of the sponge ball. Now, it is a book about encouraging people to achieve their best lives, achieve their dreams in spite of all that life throws at them. Because we know, all of us know, that life is not smooth. And all of us have dreams in our hearts. There are things that we want to do, we want to become, we want to achieve. But on the road to achieving those dreams, there are a lot of problems, a lot of roadblocks, a lot of disappointments, a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of mistakes. So how do we bounce back from those dreams and still achieve our best lives? How we bounce back from those pitfalls, those obstacles, and still achieve our best lives is what this book is about. It's challenging us to achieve our dreams in spite of whatever life throws at us.
Okay, that's certainly very inspiring. Is this your first book?
Well, I've done little things before on a local level. At one time, I tried to publish a magazine and different things. But this is the first real book, as I will call it, published by an international publishing company. Okay. It's published by Trilogy Publishing Company in the United States, which is an arm of a television network called TBN. Okay. And it's one of the biggest publishing television media networks in the world.
Okay, that's good. Tell me, why a self-help motivational book? Because in my life, I've done some work among NGOs and in the church, and a substantial amount of work as a business executive and manager in this secular world, as we see. And I have seen so many good people, so many people with very good potential fall by the wayside and give up on their life's dreams and goals because they hit a wall. Something happened. They got disappointed. They got discouraged. They got betrayed. Things didn't work out as they expected at the beginning. And they had all the ingredients for success. But that blow threw them off, and they never recovered. Right. And I found it was such a waste of human talent and skill and abilities. And I've seen it happen over and over and over. Okay. And for a number of years, actually, I've been thinking about these things, looking at actual examples in my own life too, actually, and in other people's lives. And I decided to put all of this together with a spiritual and inspirational base to encourage people to rise up and live, Okay, so it's basically based on self-experiences as well as the experiences of others that you've interacted with throughout the years.
Yes. Okay. Yes, from what I've seen, from what I've read, and my own experiences, I've put it all together with in a framework called the stages of a dream, and I think it's from the feedback that we've gotten so far from a number of people who have read the book, it is really something that it's eye-opening and challenges people to really go for your life in spite of what the setbacks that you have.
Okay. How would you describe your book's ideal reader?
That's an interesting question, because I'm thinking that our lives, there is something we call in the secular life stages, and there are life stages. And the thing is, everybody dreams. We dream differently at different ages. Like, for instance, even our children start to dream from a very early age, because we want them to dream about their first choice and their second choice and passing the SE and all of that sort of thing, and getting a good education. Then people have early life stages dreams. When you get into your early life, late teens to about 30 years, you're talking about careers, you're talking about businesses, you're talking about qualifications, you're talking about marriage and family and so on. And that's a category of dreams right there. And then as you get a little older, you dream a little differently. You have different things that you want to do. So really, the book is applicable to everybody, depending on the stage of life that you are in.
Right.
Because we all have dreams, regardless of where we are. In fact, chapter 1 starts off with a dream, telling a story of the dream of an elderly person who was 50 plus years. And that's the basis of introducing the whole concept of what shall become of your dreams in chapter 1. So I would say everybody benefits from reading this book.
Okay, all right. That's certainly very inspirational. Tell us a little bit about the writing process as it pertains to this book. What was the most difficult or challenging part of the writing process?
Well, the whole process of publishing with an international publisher was quite interesting, actually. Like I say to my friends, it was like studying for an exam, because there are lots of standards, there are lots of guidelines, there are lots of documents and so on that you have to study. You have to read, you have to understand the international standards, then you have to understand the difference in style and grammar and punctuation that makes it sort of fit into an international audience. Because we in Trinidad and in the Caribbean, we have a particular style of writing, and we have a lot of local jargon and phrases and so on. We have to be able to express those in a way and in a style and with the right words, and sometimes even the spelling that fits into an international audience. So actually, studying the documents and the guidelines to be able to produce a book that an international audience can relate to was one of the most interesting aspects of this thing.
Okay. So it was a bit challenging in that regard. How many edits, if you wish to share with us, did you go through before your final documents?
Well, there was from the publisher standpoint, there was 3.
Okay.
You have to be able to review it 3 times.
Right.
But that was the 3 submissions that I made to them. But on my own, there were several reading before you submit and to them.
Okay. All right. Tell us a little bit about the marketing strategy you've adopted for this book, for sales of the book.
Yes. So when the book was launched in February, from February until the end of March, I introduced the book through the media and through traditional media and social media, offering anybody who wants to get a copy of the book to submit a name, address, and delivery address and phone number, and we would send them the book by courier. They will just pay the delivery fee for the courier, because that's a company that we hired.
Right.
And then after reading the book, they will decide how much they want to pay for it. You put your own personal value on the book. If you find it was helpful, you pay whatever you feel that means. If you find it was not helpful, hopefully I feel there's nobody, you pay whatever you feel. But that was the offer that I made to the public, that you determine the price of the book for yourself after you've read it.
So just to be clear, you are not charging for the cost for the book. You're charging for delivery when you order it, delivery of the book.
Yes.
right?
And then the cost of the book is determined by the reader.
By the reader. Okay.
Yeah.
Why this strategy?
Well, there are a number of reasons. One is that I was confident that the person reading the book will find it useful and helpful and insightful, and be willing to pay a reasonable price for it. That's one. Two, the objective of the book really is to make a contribution to people's lives. I didn't set about writing this book in order to make a profit, in order to make money, as we say in ordinary terms. It is meant to contribute to people's lives and to help somebody maximize his or her potential and live their best lives. And once I achieve that, that to me is the reward for writing a book. There is a risk of not recovering your expenses, and that was a risk I was prepared to take in order to contribute to somebody else's life.
Well, that's really inspiring to hear. That shows your commitment and just how passionate you are about helping others, especially based on your experience. How has it been working for you since its launch in February then?
Yes, actually it's been doing quite well. And I had a number of requests. We send them all out. And there are still some people who haven't read it yet or who have not responded in any way. But one of the interesting things is that for those who have responded in terms of payment, the majority have paid a little more than what the retail value of the book is.
Okay, which is, if you don't mind?
Between 125 to 150. That's when we had it in the stores, because we had it in a couple of stores.
Right.
But then I realized that, well, first I ran out of supplies, so I recalled them from the stores. But then I realized that the direct delivery, perhaps because of the times we're living in, was much more effective and much more the preferred option from the general public.
So I recall them
from the stores and just do direct delivery.
Okay, so tell us how the direct delivery works and if I want to order a book from you.
Yeah, we asked people to send a text message or a WhatsApp message to the number 333-5422. And we will then, expressing an interest in getting the book, we will then ship it to them at the address that they provide. We ask them to provide name, address, and telephone number, and we will ship it to them at the address they provide. They pay the delivery fee, and then read it, and then decide to get back to us. There is a little note in each book,
right,
advising the reader, if you want to pay, this is how you pay.
Okay, so there's in the book you get the details on how you make your contribution.
If you wish to, yes.
If you wish to. Okay. What advice would you give to other persons who are thinking about putting pen to paper to work on their first book? Is there any advice you would give?
If you're confident in your content and you think that you have something to share with the world that will make a difference, just do it. Get the advice, get all the information you can, conceptualize in your mind how you're going to reach your preferred audience, and just do it. Because a lot of us have a lot of things that we can share with the world, and we're intimidated by it.
Yeah.
But even in the context of the book, if your dream is to write, just do it. Of course, I would advise you to do your research, talk to people, understand the process, understand the cost involved, and more importantly, make sure that you have a plan how to reach people with the book or whatever you write. And then do it. Just set about doing it, because a lot of things we can achieve if we really decide to commit ourselves to doing it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Coffey, for sharing your book with us. For those of you who would like to purchase a copy of the book, What Shall Become of Your Dreams, you can contact 333-5422. So you send your name. Tell us again, Mr. Coffey.
Your name, delivery address, and phone number. And but we prefer text or WhatsApp. because sometimes it's a little difficult to take all the calls. But text or WhatsApp to 333-5422.
All right, great. So you send your details to that number and you get your delivery, you pay for your delivery, you get a copy of your book, and depending on how you feel, how it's inspired you, you make your contribution. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much again, Mr. Coffey, for sharing your book with us.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Jones.
And thanks for being with us this morning.
I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
Of course. Of course.
Have a great day.
You too. The news is up next. We'll be back in a moment.
We have been apart for a long time. Now let's get together once again. Let's welcome you back. Family. North Coast Jazz 2022, May 27th to 29th. Born here, played here.
Join me, Sule A. Joseph, as I delve into the day-to-day psychological issues plaguing our society. We will discuss behaviors that encompass the biological influences, social pressures, and environmental factors that affect how you think, act, and feel. Site, Thursdays at 11 a.m., only on WESN, Content Capital.
A reminder from WESN. We urge you to protect yourself and others from the spread of COVID-19. Stay safe by taking some simple precautions. Clean your hands often. Use soap and water or an alcohol-based hand rub. Maintain a safe distance from anyone who is coughing or sneezing. Wear a mask. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. Cover your nose and mouth with your bent elbow or a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Stay at home. If you have a fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical attention. Following the above can help us all to help each other.
We're going to take a look at regional news first. Even with sharp rising prices in the Bahamas, one economist has commented that consumers are adapting their spending habits, and he feels that the country will be able to overcome the economic challenges. More on this from All News.
Former Free National Movement Senator and State Minister for Finance, Zhivargo Laing, the guest on our TV's On the Record with Jerome Sawyer this past week. Laing weighing in on the International Monetary Fund's warning that the cost of living is going up. He says while he understands those factors, he believes it is also being used as an excuse.
I also believe that there is some taking advantage of this opportunity by companies at home and abroad who see an opportunity to do a little bit of profit making by creeping up these prices and blaming the inflation that's taking place across the globe. So some of that, I have no doubt, is taking place. But we as consumers can't do anything about it in terms of changing the prices. The only thing that we can do something about is our behavior in response to those higher prices.
Laing says he believes Bahamians have found ways to adjust.
There is a tendency on our part to see those price changes in such an incremental fashion that over time we've complained but not done anything. Now the adjustments are really up in your face, like having a $400 increase on your rent. And so I believe that people are making adjustments, and that adjustment is, I don't have to stop eating something, or buying something, I buy less of it. Or I can switch brands if another brand is less expensive, etc.
And as the economy finally began to show signs of rebound, Lang was asked if he believes the economy could handle another setback this soon.
Yes.
Why do you think so? Or why do you
We don't have a choice. When people, let me tell you something, we've seen this over and repeatedly. We've often said to ourselves, well, we can't take another this, we can't take another that. And then another something comes and we're still here. Because ultimately, human beings are adapters. And while we reluctantly face adverse changes to our lives, we make the adjustments when necessary.
Now, according to Minister of Foreign Affairs Fred Mitchell, the poverty level has hit 47%.
When we think of abject poverty, that is not something that we're accustomed to seeing. But we do have a standard of living, and based on a household expenditure survey that the Department of Statistics did, where we know a number of people in the Bahamas live below that. And I think the number may have been around 11%, but don't quote me as having that being definite, but around 11%. And it is true that we have probably seen an increase in that over the last 15 years, leading from the Great Recession.
Lang notes that based on the United Nations definition of poverty, earning $1 per day, he believes the country's poverty level is relatively low compared to other countries.
The news at the top of the hour is up next. We'll be back in a bit.
Seven is out, all day is in. WESN News on the hour.
Every day, we communicate through stories. Stories of ourselves, our challenges, our goals, our experiences, and our aspirations. Storytelling is an art that we have mastered. WESN Film Studios comprises a collaborative team of experts with extensive industry experience locally, regionally, and internationally. The ability of your business to successfully communicate with your preferred audience depends on the strength of the stories you tell. Your vision should be communicated in a high-quality, professional, and creative way. From concept to post-production, advertising to film, multi-camera productions, live events, streaming, and virtual conferencing, we are WESN Film Studio. Let your own unique voice be heard and your vision realized. Call us today at 628-5835 for your next production.
In this season, we talk more about health, wellness, and everything in between. I am so excited to share with you everything about health and wellness so that you can design the life that you've always dreamed of. Join me here on What's Up Doc.
What's Up Doc? Tuesdays and Thursdays here on WESN, Content Capital.
Is it politics? What is it that nobody cares about sports?
The kind of support that sport used to get in the past is no longer here.
The thing is, taking a knee doesn't mean that that's the only thing you're doing now, Andre.
Right.
Taking a knee along with other stuff.
Samantha, what are you looking forward to when you return home to Trinidad and Tobago after winning the title?
Thank you very much for speaking it into existence.
Is it no pressure on Nicholas Paul?
It makes me more motivated to work hard and to go out there and rep the red, white and black.
Why are we sending a team to the Winter Olympics?
There are a number of Trinbagonians who are in the diaspora and have grown up in winter sport. It's an opportunity that the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee will not close the door on.
I also believe in the players that we have. Once you can motivate the players, you can get the best out of them.
Burning questions, urgent topics. Welcome back to One on One, the show where we tackle the most current and pertinent subjects that are affecting all citizens, where we ask the hard questions and have in-depth conversations. What separates One on One from other talk shows is that the conversation stems from a younger perspective on topics that affect the fabric of our society. One on One, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. on WESN Content Capital.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
A reminder from WESN. We urge you to protect yourself and others from the spread of COVID-19. Stay safe by taking some simple precautions. Clean your hands often. Use soap and water or an alcohol-based hand rub. Maintain a safe distance from anyone who is coughing or sneezing. Wear a mask. Don't touch your eyes, nose or mouth. Cover your nose and mouth with your bent elbow or a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Stay at home. If you have a fever, cough and difficulty breathing, seek medical attention. Following the above can help us all to help each other.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. We're going into some more regional news now. In Barbados, Royal Caribbean will soon be offering a wide range of jobs on board their cruise ships to the people of Barbados. This continues the strong relationship the cruise line has had with the island. The story from Barbados Today.
Thousands of jobs for Barbadians with one of the world's major cruise lines will open up within the next 4 months. Today, Tourism Minister Senator Lisa Cummins and the Chief Executive Officer of Royal Caribbean, Michael Bailey, signed a memorandum of cooperation to facilitate the move on the sidelines of the Seatrade Cruise Global Conference in Miami. A wide range of jobs are available under the agreement.
And we're talking here about our creatives, our entertainers, photographers, persons who work in hotel and hospitality management. And if we know one thing about Barbados is that Barbados is well known for our hospitality. We are warm, especially when it comes to our cruise partners, and we're looking forward to this new partnership with Royal Caribbean, getting more Barbadians employed on board cruise ships, traveling the world and taking Barbados and our hospitality with it, and working with you to develop even more opportunities.
Chief Executive Officer of Royal Caribbean Michael Bailey highlighted the strong relationship between his company and Barbados, reflecting on the island's general assistance during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic when thousands of its employees were stranded at sea.
It was incredibly supportive and helpful in allowing Royal Caribbean and other cruise companies to bring their ships to Bridgetown and to arrange charter flights literally to all over the world. And we got, I think, maybe 20,000 of our crew off our ships in Barbados, and we got them home, and it would not have been possible if not for the cooperation of the people of Barbados.
The chairman of the Barbados Tourism and Marketing Inc., Shelley Williams, is excited about the new opportunities, which she believes will yield significant benefits for the island.
And I heard you talk about, and the minister talk about the musicians and the creatives, but you didn't stop there. We have, when I looked at the list of jobs that will be available to our Barbadians. We're talking about from engineering to carpenters to plumbers to electricians to seamen and people in sports, youth. There's a cross-section. That is the largest cross-section I have ever seen, and I'm so excited to be on board. And I think you are now going to lead the way for other discussions from other cruise lines for us to have this kind of relationship.
Meanwhile, the tourism minister also announced that Barbados is moving its primary cruise operations out of Bridgetown and into Miami as local stakeholders attempt to deepen relations with key partners. Senator Cummins told today's press conference the new office should be operational by late summer.
So all of the relationships with the cruise lines and partners like Michael and Royal Caribbean will be anchored out of our Miami office with support from our Barbados office, so that we're constantly in a recruiting mode, we're constantly in training mode, we're constantly in developmental mode, and that we're working with our partners on the ground in Barbados to bring them live and direct to our partners here in Miami. And that, of course, we're going to be ensuring that the Barbadian brand of hospitality is world class, it is available, and that people are going to be able to see Destination Barbados through our people, not just our people on island, but our people who will be working on board the ships, who will then be able to tell the story of who we are as Barbadians while earning their livelihoods. And that's a balance that we in the tourism team are very committed to.
And in Belize, the ongoing story of the disgraced senior diplomat Alexis Rosado continues. The Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, warns of the complex nature of prosecuting rape charges. We have more on this from News 5.
Today, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams said that rape is a complex issue. It is difficult to prove and more difficult to disprove. But that determination is up to the court.
The police had received a complaint from a female who had reported that for a number of years she had been sexually assaulted by the former ambassador, and I think on one or two occasions she was raped. We conducted a thorough investigation into the matter, and the file was submitted to the Director of Public Prosecution's office for advice. It is not strange for that to occur. It had happened on numerous occasions before, and it's a matter for the court to determine whether or not they believe or they will believe the virtual complainant. But we have to appreciate the fact that when these things occur, the victim, women for the most part, may be reluctant to come forward, particularly due to the social stature of a person. And there may also be other factors that may deter a person from coming forward to make a complaint immediately. So it is not unusual for a victim to come forth that late. For the most part, it is her word against his, and even though, yes, we know that the law has changed, where in the past it required that there must be some level of collaboration, but that is no more the case. There need not be any collaboration.
While the police believe there is a case for Rosado to answer in a court of law, Prime Minister John Briceño says that Rosado's resignation as ambassador and co-agent on the Belize team at the ICJ will have no bearing on the presentation we make or the result of the case. This is despite the fact that Rosado was appointed to the post based on his seniority and extensive background on the Belize-Guatemala dispute. But last week, he was charged with a slew of sexual offenses in the Belmopan Magistrates Court. Here is how Prime Minister Briceño spoke about the new developments on this matter.
Alexis Rosado played a very, very important role, a senior role in the work that we've been doing in preparing our case today to the ICJ. But as co-agents, what they do is they collate, they put all of the papers together. We have different attorneys dealing with the different issues, and then they put it together and then do and presented to the ICJ. Fortunately, we don't have one. We have both co-agents, meaning that there's more than one. The other co-agent is Ambassador Assad Shuman, senior person when it comes to a senior ambassador, and a person, probably the most knowledgeable person when it comes to the issue of the Belize-Guatemala dispute. So no, it will not in any way affect us. My heart goes out to Alexis Rosado on the issues that he's facing, but like in everything, our rule of law is based on the presumption of innocence until you are proven guilty.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at the headlines in the Newsday newspapers now. So on the front page of the Newsday for Wednesday, April 27th, we have a picture of citizens on the corner of Henry Street and South Key, Port of Spain yesterday, waiting for the flood waters to subside. That's on the front page of the newspaper. We also have a message from the EMBD to residents at Diamond Road in Claxton Bay, where some residents have been affected by a major landslip. So the Estate Management and Business Development Company Limited is suggesting that residents get out before it becomes more than just a little serious for them. That's the front page of the Newsday this morning. And in the sports section to the back, Manchester City's Kevin De Bruyne scores the opening goal for his side during the Champions League semi-finals match against Real Madrid at the Etihad Stadium in Manchester, England on Tuesday. And also a call by the TT Women's Under-17 football coach for more programs, for more regular football for the girls. And this comes, of course, on the heels of the girls being eliminated from the CONCACAF Women's Under-17 Championships in Dominican Republic on Monday. They do have another game coming up this evening, actually, at 9 p.m. TT time, and they'll be playing Mexico. So be sure to tune in for that, and let's support our girls. That's the Newsday newspaper, and let's take a look at Newsday Tobago. All schools are finally reopened. It's good news in Tobago, coming out of Tobago. There's a picture of Kurlan Jack and her two sons, Giovanni Trim and Jason Jack. On their first day of the new school term, they went back to school this Monday. So that's them looking very enthusiastic to get back to school. And in the sports section, we have Lee Tarek left of the W Connection FC and Defence Force Christian Bailey during their Tiger Tanks Men Under-20 Invitational football game at the Larry Gomes Stadium in Malabar on Saturday. And that's a look at the back of the Tobago Newsday. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we have more for you right here on AM Prime.
In this season, we talk more about health, wellness, and everything in between. I am so excited to share with you everything about health and wellness so that you can design the life that you've always dreamed of. Join me here on What's Up Doc.
What's Up Doc? Tuesdays and Thursdays here on WESN, Content Capital.
The issue, the continued rise in the price of flour and its impact on the cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago. How should we go about it? I want to ask you, what has been revealed to you about the state of vulnerability in the country because of this exercise and because of what we're going through? Is the government losing the war on the vaccine front?
The discussion should revolve around the common good for the greatest number of people in Trinidad and Tobago.
How do we inculcate a sense of respect and regard for people who may not be of your own political ilk or persuasion.
The communities are now being used by political opportunists. So
when the tables are turned, it's the same way. Okay, this has been 10 questions. I'm Andy Johnson, and we'll see you next time.
People really want to know, what about me? Where do I fit? Yes. What is in the ride for me in terms of a better Trinidad and Tobago? And I'm pleased to shed some light on that.
The purpose of bail is to ensure your attendance at court. That's it. It is not punitive, it is not rehabilitative.
We the police officers, we are professional and we are here for whenever the survivor is ready to come forward.
We have the right to private and family life, the right to religious freedoms and beliefs and thoughts and expression. But these rights are not absolute. Certain rights can be limited.
The law is to govern the whole, it's for all of us in public.
Burning questions, urgent topics. Welcome back to One on One, the show where we tackle the most current and pertinent subjects that are affecting all citizens, where we ask the hard questions and have in-depth conversations. What separates One on One from other talk shows is that the conversation stems from a younger perspective on topics that affect the fabric of our society. One on One, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. on WESN Content Capital.
Pretend we in darkness and you love me.
We Comedy Jam Season 3 is finally here.
Trinity people just give you the landmarks you don't need. On the right hand side you'll see a standpipe. I put on this P on that standpipe.
Tell me COVID is a red girl, yes? I have no money.
Tune in to WESN every Monday from 8 p.m. to hear your favorite comedians bring you the laughs.
So from above the waist, Indian, but below the waist, still Indian. So.
That's not all. Catch us for a repeat every Thursday.
Where's a little bit of wrinkle when you're steamy, right? You know what I mean?
We Comedy Jam only on WESN, your content capital.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Join the journey to the Northern Range. Come, sing the chorus.
All I wish one family.
Family, a tribute to Lord Nelson.
So we holding on, going from dusk to dawn.
North Coast Jazz, born here, played here.
If you live with someone who's tested positive for COVID-19 and has to self-isolate at home, take care of them from a distance and reduce their movement around the house. Give them space, a designated space, and open those windows. If you have to be in contact, mask up, both of you. If you work, stay home from work and don't go out. Not even to the grocery or pharmacy. And remember, no visitors allowed. Limit the contact to limit the spread.
The Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross Society. Mission-based, people-focused, community-driven.
We're going to be taking a look at some more regional news. In Guyana, a public opinion poll resulted in findings that questioned the freedom of Guyana elections and respondents having a high interest in electoral reforms. But the government has criticized the process by which the poll was conducted. Those details and more from NewsSource Guyana.
Well, in January of this year, the International Republican Institute designed and commissioned a national public opinion poll through its Strengthening Democracy Through Polling Data and Peace Building program. The face-to-face interactive poll, which was conducted by CID Gallup throughout all regions of Guyana, is the first IRI public opinion poll to ask for opinions and perceptions of Guyanese on governance issues. According to a summary of the findings, the poll found high interest in electoral reforms, with 81% of those interviewed believing that such reforms are necessary. The majority of adults in Guyana, 58%, think the reforms are very necessary. The IRI said a wide range of actors across government, civil society organizations, indigenous community organizations, trade unions, and the private sector were consulted in developing the content of the poll. On the question of elections, the poll asked respondents about voting at the next general elections, and the majority of the respondents said they do not have confidence in the electoral process. On questions about freedom of elections and ballot box security, the highest number of respondents expressed concern about the freedom of the electoral process and safety of the ballot boxes, but noted that free elections in the country are still possible. The report found that elections in the country are not free and ballot box security is not ensured. The majority of likely voters said. The majority of the voters who took part in the face-to-face poll also said that they are not satisfied with the system which decides who serves on the Guyana Elections Commission, and therefore expressed the need for urgent constitutional reform, with 60% of respondents saying that a comprehensive review of all election laws was very necessary. The IRI said its work in Guyana aims to help ensure reforms are based on the participation of Guyanese who design their own solutions while benefiting from regional expertise and best practices. And the government of Guyana is not happy with the recent findings of that poll. The findings of the poll, which was conducted earlier this year, were released last week. The government is now responding to those findings, with the Minister of Governance, Gail Teixeira, claiming that proper procedures were not followed before the poll was done.
First of all, any poll done in Guyana requires that it goes before the Ministry of Health's Ethical Review Board. Before any poll is done regarding to humans in Guyana. There are other entities that one has to go to if you're doing a poll on scientific aspects of Guyana, biodiversity, etc.
Although the IRI said it met with a wide range of actors across government, civil society organizations, trade unions, indigenous groups, and the private sector, and that they were consulted in developing the content of the poll, Teixeira said no request was made or approval was granted to conduct any poll in Guyana. She also said the findings of the poll is questionable because of its low response rate.
So, in my estimation, having such a low response rate changes the sampling method altogether from a random sample to what is called a convenience sample, because it appears that they pretty much only surveyed people they could find rather than surveying the people that were on the random sample.
And the Minister Teixeira said the findings of the IRI poll cannot be reflective of the entire population and is likely to be biased and not representative. The minister also said the government is yet to locate a single person who participated in the poll. The government has not made similar claims about other polls that were conducted previously in Guyana.
The Jamaican Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, is citing a historically low unemployment rate as proof that the economic recovery out of the pandemic is progressing quicker than expected. But Prime Minister Holness warns of increased challenges to keep the economy moving in a positive direction. PCB Jamaica has this story.
In the business report, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is optimistic about the country's employment rate.
6.2%, according to data from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, that is Jamaica's current unemployment rate. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, speaking at the annual installation of the Youth Advisory Council, said that this is proof that the economy is recovering much faster than expected from the negative impact of COVID-19.
We are now at a point where all the signs are showing that we are about to take off in our economic growth. Our economy is recovering. It has recovered rapidly, much faster than we had expected. And in fact, Statin just released new unemployment figures the lowest unemployment in Jamaica's history, 6.2%.
Although 6.2% is a record low, the Prime Minister said that there still exists a number of unemployed persons.
At 6.2%, there is still a great deal of persons who would be unemployed. Possibly between 75 and 80,000 Jamaicans would be unemployed.
He also said that with the low rate, the government now has to think about what would happen if the rate continues to drop and if we can facilitate further reduction.
But we can't, as the government, just sit by and say, oh, this is so great. Because you have to be considering what happens when you get to 3% unemployment. Would we have enough labor to keep the industries going? We have to be thinking about these things. And could Jamaica ever reach a point in its development where businesses want to come here, to relocate here, to do business here?
All right, welcome back. That's how we wrap things up this morning. Thank you for staying with us. I want to thank all our guests who were here with us this morning, Mr. Jonathan Mora, Meteorological Observer, and author Mr. Gladstone Coffee. Remember, if you want to get in touch with us at AM Prime, email us at amprime@wesncc.com or check us out at WSNCC on all our social media platforms. Talking Point is up in a few, so be sure to stay tuned to the content capital WESN. Enjoy the rest of your day and do remember to be mindful of the weather forecast today. You know what we heard this morning, we're expecting more rainfall, possible flooding in some areas, so keep safe and try to stay dry. I am Leah Ann Jones with you for the rest of this week on AM Prime. See you tomorrow.